Hey guys, welcome back to Lary Talk. I'm your host, Henry King. Did you miss me? Nah, you can lie to me though. I don't mind. So I'm sorry that I've been gone for a little bit. Had some personal things going on, doctors, stuff like that. And I had to update some equipment, mainly my laptop. And the program I was using for editing didn't really want to go over to the new laptop too well. So I'm using better equipment. I got a new editor, and this will be the episode that we get to test that editor out. So if you're seeing this right now, it did its job. So this week's episode, since I figured we're starting anew, why not start from the beginning, right? Go back to Larry 101. This episode this week is going to be about being diagnosed and the things that you probably aren't going to be told, the things you would be told, the things you should do, and stuff like that, just to get you prepared. But before I get into all that, I got to give a shout out to the guy. I mean, 5 episodes in a row. He might as well be a goddamn sponsor at this time. Aaron Wade, in his book, The Silent Partner, my first year as a laryngectomy. As you know, Aaron makes these little stickers that go on your HME, and he's sending me a bunch of them. And right now, this week, if you're watching the video, you'll see them wearing the American flag because of America. And by the way, if you're watching the video right now on YouTube, thank you. I appreciate it. But while you're there, can you hit the like and subscribe button? At least hit the like button so that way more people can find us. You get what I'm saying? Spread the wealth, so to speak. So anyway, this week, Aaron also had sent me a new shirt that he came out with. You remember a sticker here where it said the strong silent type with the silent XL? Well, he's got a shirt. It's also got it on the back. I'll have pictures up showing what it looks like. So again, shout out to Aaron Wayne. Great guy. He's got a page now on Facebook for it. And I suggest everybody go check it out. The Facebook page is called The Strong Silent Type. So, but his book is The Silent Partner. So I suggest you get a hold of Aaron, get his book, get his stickers, have a little bit of fun. Will bring us to this week's sponsor, Piel Handcrafted. As you know, Piel Handcrafted is a bird focuses on men, but it's a all-natural soap and candle company made out of goat's milk mostly. It is all homemade, and it is a very good product. And which will bring me to this. Let me speak to the guys here, or anybody with testicles. I'm still learning here. Anybody with testicles, mainly guys. It is 2021, guys. What are you doing? Are you not taking care of the undercarriage anymore? Do you expect your woman to go down to that mess? Well, if you go to Piel right now, you can get his new nut butter, and you can make your nuts smell a little better. Make it so she wants to go down there. When you want to go down there, like I said, 2021, let's step it up, guys. Only thing it should be smelling, the only nuts that should be smelling smoke to the ones on the grill, not the one in your pants. And if you go to the Piel Handcrafted website and you order anything, if you use the Lary promo code Lary10, you'll get 10% off. How cool is that? He's got everything from candles to beard bombs to beard oil. And you're going to smell good. He's also got women's perfume and stuff. So check out his site. Give him a holler, let him know Henry sent you, and enjoy the product, man. Now, let's get on to this show. Now, when you get this set up to find out your results for your cancer, if that's what it's going to end up being is cancer, 90% of the time it will be. I really suggest you bring somebody with you when you go for your diagnosis. The reason why I say this is because if it does turn out that you do have cancer, you're thinking about that. That's all you're thinking about. It's like, oh shit, I got cancer. I'm going to fucking die. You are not thinking what the doctor is telling you. You know, the doctor is going to be spewing out a bunch of facts after that about what they can do, what they're going to do, what they want to do, blah, blah, blah. You're not thinking about that. The only thing you're thinking about is, fuck, I'm going to die. So I suggest you bring somebody with you, whether it be a spouse, a friend, a relative, somebody you know, somebody you trust. Bring them with you. So that way, when you get the diagnosis, you also have somebody else there listening. So that way, after the whole thing's over, you can talk back and forth in case you missed anything that they said. You get what I mean? It's just good to have your basics covered in all fronts. So I really suggest doing that. Now, again, this is just for the folks that have been diagnosed. You now know you have cancer. And now what? Well, the first thing I tell anybody that's ever asked me for any kind of advice, relax. It's the one thing I was told, and it's the one thing everybody should get told, relax. You're thinking the worst thing right now, right? You got that diagnosis, you probably went home, you got on Google, you seen WebMD, you watched videos, you've seen books, and you're seeing mostly the worst things ever because those are the things that get documented the most. Nobody really gives a shit about a good success story anymore. You know what I mean? Unless it's sports, or breast cancer, I guess. But nobody really documents this stuff. Like somebody like me that's now doing a podcast, doing perfectly fine. Now, I'm not going to be in no magazine for that. So you're going to see the worst. Relax. Every cancer is different. Every person is different. If you're a young, healthy guy like I was, you don't have like COPD and all this other stuff wrong with you, you're probably going to do just fine. You're going to come out fine. So first thing I tell everybody, relax, calm it, find your zen or whatever, but relax, smoke a joint or something. Now, the second thing that I suggest everybody do is find a support group of some kind, okay? You can find a lot of them online. In fact, you can go to LaryTalk.com. Did I forget to mention that? I forgot to mention that. Lary Talk now has a website, folks. I know, isn't that cool? I actually own the domain. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, if you go to our website, not only can you find past podcasts, you could read the story about me and my diagnosis, but you can also find help and support in your area as well as online. So if you go to our help and support section, you can scroll down, you can find legitimate sites. There you can go and get help. You can get support. You can get a few of them are on Facebook, so you can go to Facebook groups. Now, mind you, the Facebook groups are private groups. You will have to be vetted to get in. All you do is answer a few questions. They make sure you're not a fake and you get in. And always follow the rules of the groups. Each group has their own set of rules. Don't disobey them. And by all means, don't be a dick. So, with that said, you can go to LaryTalk.com or you can go to many other places and just find a support group of some kind. I suggest finding something within this. Your local area is going to have a cancer group, but they're not going to have just for laryngectomies very much. I mean, if you're in a big city like New York City or you're in LA, something like, you might have something like that. But if you're like outskirt areas like I am, it's probably like me and two other guys in this entire area that are laryngectomies. I know of one because I met him before my surgery. Other than that, I haven't seen any. So going online is actually a very good way of doing it. You can get a virtual group, support group. Companies like Atos and NL do these all the time. The virtual Zoom pretty much is what it is. And they're free. You can go in there and you can chat, listen, you're able to type it out, stuff like that. I suggest doing that so that way you can talk to somebody that's been through this, because like I said many a times on this show, every cancer is different, every person is different, everybody heals different. Every cancer, like you could be diagnosed the same cancer I had, but it's going to be different for you. It's just the way it is. You can't, there's no standard about cancer. Like it it is what it is. It's cancer, and it's going to do whatever the fuck it wants until you take care of it. So find a support group and relax. Those are my first two. The third thing I'm going to suggest is that you find positivity of some kind, no matter what it is. Whatever made you happy before, do it. You know, even if it was to go and just sit somewhere and enjoying a sunset or whatever, listening to music, watching a movie, that kind of stuff. Do that. Surround yourself with a bunch of positivity because you already got one giant negative in your life and you don't need any more. That includes people. You don't need negative people in your life right now. If they're not going to be positive, they're not on your team, you don't need them right now. You know, maybe later on down the road when you're done and you're healed. But until then, you need positivity, no matter what that is. Find it in religion, find it in music, find it in movies and entertainment, find it in porno, I don't know. Whatever you did before to find positivity, do it now. Nothing's changed. It's still good. You're still able. I mean, you're going to be a little bit more depressed probably, but that means you just got to work harder, finding positivity. This will also make you look at life a little different too. Anyway, you're going to look at life in a positive way. In most cases, I mean, if you're a sourpuss to begin with, you might be a sourpuss after this too. Who knows? But find that positivity. That's the one thing you need to do. Find positivity. So relax, find help, find positivity. Those are the three main things you need to do. All right. Now let's get on to things you should do before surgery. Now, I'm going to put this as the first thing because this is what everybody tells you to do. Everybody will tell you, record your voice. Okay. I did, but by the time I'm ready for surgery and all that, my voice is gone. And that's what brought me to the doctor to begin with, right? Your voice was all messed up. You're like, wow, this laryngitis has lasted a year. Well, 6 months in my case, but and then you finally go to a doctor and then you find out you have cancer. They always usually find it at like stage 4. By then your voice is shot, you know. But record your voice so that way at least you knew what you used to sound like just before. And I got lucky. I did a television show for many years, so I've got me doing different voices as well as my voice. But the night before my surgery, I still called my wife's cell phone. I left a voicemail on there. She still has, and you know, I recorded my voice. So that's number one. Okay, number 2. Insurance. These sons of bitches. All right. So the one thing I wish somebody would have told me beforehand was to make sure I had everything signed on the HIPAA forms and stuff so that my wife can be my voice. You're going to want to do this because after the surgery, I don't care if you got a TEP or the DEL, you're going to be swollen and you're not going to be able to speak too much. And they're going to be calling you as soon as you get home, or you're going to have to call them as soon as you get home. I mean, as soon as you get home, people are like, right. And you'd be amazed how many times these dumbasses will call you, even though you don't have a voice. They're going to call you anyway. So make sure you have somebody you know, you love, you trust. You know, with me, it was my wife. Make sure you have it set up so they can be your voice, so they can talk to the insurance companies, to your doctors, to all that. They call them caregivers because, you know, a lot of them do have to take care of the stoma and stuff like that. I called my wife my voice and still do because she's mainly my voice. You want to talk long periods on the phone about insurance, you're talking to her. And it's probably a good thing you're talking to her. My views is like, and especially when insurance, oh my God. You're going to play hell with insurance, no matter what insurance you have. I haven't met anybody yet that was going through insurance. Was like, well, this is a good, you got to figure their job is to make sure they don't have to pay or pay the lowest amount ever. So you're going to be jumping through hurdles to get your supplies after this. Trust me. So make sure you have all that done, your HIPAA forms done, all that. Because, you know, you might have a TEP, but like I said, you might not be able to use it. It just doesn't sound right on the phone. So you get what I'm saying? And when you first get these, you're going to be too swollen up. Now, they do have a part on the device that you can bite onto and talk. But with me, they pulled my teeth. So, yeah, that didn't work. So I had to use this thing. And I don't use it much anymore. So I kind of lost my sweet spot. I'll have to practice just in case. Just in case. Because you never know. You never know. Anyway, another thing, prepare for when you come home. All right. You might need a humidifier or a dehumidifier depending on your region or what you got going on. Your humidity affects the way you breathe, honestly. Everybody has a different way they like it. I don't mind it really until it gets above 70. And then like after 70% humidity, I'm like, oh my God. But it also depends because I live in an area where it's winter. So it'll be like 100% humidity, but it's freezing. So you can't tell. But the cold air will mess with you too. So I always suggest covering it up. Always, no matter what, cover it up. Treat it like it's a kid, like a teenage boy. Cover it up. So what else do you want to prepare for? Well, you're going to want to get some tissues of some kind. I really suggest, like, I use just regular Kleenex tissues, but I make sure that they're kind of thick. It's the thin ones, it's like wiping your butt with Scott paper towel. It's the same thing. It gets wet, gets stuck in there. You don't want that. You don't want fibers building up in there. So you're going to want good tissues. You're going to want a good flashlight. Why, you may ask? When you're cleaning your stoma, you're going to want a good flashlight and a mirror. That way you can see down in there and actually see what you need to clean out. You get what I'm saying? Whether you're cleaning it with a Q-tip or if you're cleaning it using the suction machine, you're going to want to see what you're doing. So you're going to want a good flashlight and a good mirror. Now, a good cheap flashlight that I use all the time, the little ones you get the gas stations, they're great. They work out great. They're small, they're handheld, they're bright enough, they last long enough. You can buy like a package of them at Walmart, like a packet of 4 for like $20. So, I mean, great buy. And then, like, if you want to invest in like rechargeable batteries, that'd probably be a smart way to go too. But for now, I just buy like a big packet of batteries from Amazon and I go from there, and they last me, it's been a year. So, and also, you're going to want to get a good pair of tweezers, not sharp tweezers. You don't want anything that you're going to jab yourself with. You're not trying to stab yourself. You're trying to just clean out the excess and the dried up mucus. And mucus is going to be your new nightmare. You're gonna hate mucus. It's going to be everywhere, no matter what you do. No matter what you do, know who you are. I just put this shirt on about an hour ago, and I probably already got some on the collar. Who knows? Now, remember, all this stuff you're going to want to kind of get before you even go into the hospital. That way, when you're out, when you're coming home, you're not running around trying to find this stuff. You're not doing all that kind of stuff. You can come home, relax, heal up, and you're ready. You're ready to go, They're also going to send you home with some equipment. Most places will send you home with like a little to-go bag. That's complimentary from Atos. And of course, it's going to start raining right now. Little side story. I've been waiting all day to film this. The only day I have to film this. And they've been cutting down a tree for like a week. And today's the day they wanted to use the wood chipper. Go figure. So I wait for them to get done, only for it to rain. That's awesome. So let's move on. So now it's the day of the surgery, right? You're going in. I go back to the relax theory again. Just try to relax. Talk as much as you can. The night before, if you're able to eat your most favorite meal, whatever that is, man. If it's just pizza and burger, eat it. When you get done, when you come out of this, eating is totally different now. Okay. And you're probably not going to be able to do anything like a burger for quite some time, at least a few weeks, you know. So again, just, you know, the day of the surgery, just try to keep calm and just talk as much as you can. Don't shut up until it's over. You know, that's what I actually did. I didn't shut up the entire time because I wanted to hear my voice one more. Now, what should you bring to the hospital with you? That's the $50 million question, right? Well, the first thing you don't bring is you don't bring money and jewelry. Anybody that does that, I don't get people, man. Your money and jewelry can stay home in a bank, whatever. It doesn't need to come with you. And I mean any jewelry. Take out earrings, take off all that crap. You never know. 90% of the hospitals, I think, would be nice and, you know, you don't get robbed, but you never know. So why would you take the chance? And they'll even tell you not to bring money and jewelry and stuff. I do suggest you bring a phone or a tablet, something that will connect to the internet and the Wi-Fi in the hospital. Why is that, you may ask? Well, not only are you able to text whoever, but I suggest downloading a messenger based like Facebook Messenger. I highly suggest, because the main reason is because when I was in there, I was able to video chat with my wife, and I was able to type to her as she was able to talk to me. So it worked out really well for a guy that's a mute kid, you know. And now it made the whole thing, the whole experience better. Mind you, I wasn't able to see my wife, man. She was 2 hours away. COVID was hitting. Everything was shut down. I didn't have any visitors. So that kept me sane. So I suggest doing that with as well. You know, you might not need to, you know, you might have your spouse right there with you, which lucky bastards. I mean, and not only is it good for communication reasons, but you're going to get bored, you know. And so you're going to want to download some games, watch a video, catch an episode of Lary Talk, you know, that kind of stuff. You're going to want some kind of entertainment. Another thing I suggest you bring is a dry erase board. You're not going to be able to talk after the surgery. You're going to wake up. You're not going to have vocal cords. So you're going to need to communicate somehow. When I was in the hospital, they gave me a pen and paper. I mean, that worked, but you're going through a lot of paper. You know what I mean? So I suggest getting a dry erase board. Or you can get one of these bad boys. This is called a boogie board. What this is an electronic dry erase board. So you can write onto it, and then all you do to erase is press a little button. So they're really handy, actually. You can buy them. You can buy them almost anywhere. Like Walmart has them, Target has them, but you can also get them if you join these Facebook groups and you can't get one. They're willing to donate them to you. So, like, in fact, I was sent a box of these from the group, and I distribute them out to my local hospital. So that way, when they have, you know, a cancer patient like me, somebody that needs them, they're prepared and do whatever, send them home with them. I don't know, but as long as they had them the way I looked at it, it was an easier way to communicate. That's for sure. Another thing you can do is if you probably your phone or an have a tablet, is you could download a text to speak app. In other words, you text in what you want to say, and you can adjust the speed, the language, and all that good crap. You can make it sound like a woman, make it sound like a man, dog, I guess. I don't know, but you can adjust it very, very well. So that's another way to go. So that's a good way. That's 3 different things you can do to be ahead of the game for communication wise. Other than that, you're going to be writing on pad and paper a lot. And I'd rather save a tree personally. Another thing, bring some comfy slippers. bring some comfy slippers too. Why, Henry? Well, let me tell you why, kiddos. You're going to be wanting to walk around a lot, okay? Walking not only is a good exercise to begin with for you, but it will help the swelling go down after surgery. They'll even tell you to walk. And you're going to be bored, so fucking walk. What else you got to do? Look out some windows, enjoy it, you know? The one thing that's going to be annoying about it is you're going to be walking around, somebody wants to talk to you, and you're like, you know. And I was never smart enough to bring, like, a boogie board with me. Thinking ahead, what the hell's that about, right? So bring some comfy slippers because they give you socks, but they're not, it's hospital socks, you know how it is. So yeah, bring something comfortable to wear. I mean, some places will like you have your shoes if that's your thing, but whatever. Just don't go barefoot in the hospital. It's fucking gross. All right. Also, bring a crossword if that's your thing. Crossword puzzles, Sudoku, something, just something to keep your mind occupied. Read a book. If you wanted to catch up on a series of books, now is your chance. So, I mean, like the main thing is, listen to follow the hospital's regulations and rules. If they tell you you can't bring something, don't try sneaking it in. It was really funny because when I was in the hospital, it was like my third day. A woman was on the cancer floor and got caught smoking a cigarette in the bathroom. Can you believe that shit? Like, and you're on the cancer floor. I was offended because I'm like, bitch, I want a cigarette too. But anyway, I would never smoke it on the gut. That's on the cancer floor. Really? Dumb bitch. But yeah, don't do that. Don't sneak in anything. Don't argue the rules. Just follow them, man. Next, you wake up and it's the day after surgery or day of whatever, the night of the surgery. And you wake up from it. Now what to expect? Well, you're not gonna have any pain, I don't think. 90% of the people I've seen had no pain afterwards. Like you, I went in having ear pain and pain in my throat. And I woke up with none of that. It was the first time I woke up without ear pain in like a year. So the one thing you're going to notice is you can't talk. You're probably going to try. I know I did. I tried talking. I was like, oh, yeah, that's why I'm here. I don't suggest you try swallowing. Don't swallow until they tell you to. But you'll notice you're going to have tubes hanging out of you. You're going to have like little drain tubes. Most, I think everybody had that actually, with drain tubes hanging out your chest area. And help that swelling go down and all that. You might have a little stiffness of your neck because, they took out a bunch of muscles. So a lot of that muscle is what helped, stabilize everything. And it wasn't just for swallowing, They pretty much took out most of your inner core of your throat, if you think about it. So, you might have a little stiffness, less mobility, that kind of, especially at first because it's swollen and you've been cut ear to ear like a Colombian necktie. It's going to be swollen. You're also going to notice that it's numb. You got to figure they cut through a bunch of nerves. Those nerves take time to heal and come back online. And a lot of times they're not going to, like, I'm still numb in this area. That's why also I should have suggested, guys, anybody that shaves, go buy an electric razor because you're not aware how much pressure you're putting on when you're using a regular razor. And if you're using a straight razor, pause, but go get an electric. An electric will make it a little safer for you. That way you ain't got to worry about nicking yourself and cutting your own throat, bleeding out, dying, that kind of thing. You don't want to survive cancer and then die of stupidity. That just now. This is the time where your emotions might get the best of you. And you know what? That's okay. It is all right to wake up, realize what you're going through, and cry. That is fine. Be angry. That is fine. Don't take it out on anybody else. Don't get angry at the nurses. Don't get angry at anybody with you. Don't even get angry at yourself. But if you got to get emotional, be emotional. This is the time to do it. I gave myself 1 day to be like, oh, woe is me. And after that, pull the pants up. It's time to heal. You didn't go through all of this to feel boo-hoo for the rest of your life. It's time to put on the big boy pants, put on the adult diapers. Sorry, that's funny. Put on the adult pants and get it done, man. Give yourself time though to get that emotion out. You're gonna need it, and it's healthy. You're gonna want to do it. I cried like a little baby, man, and no shame. But don't dwell. That's the main thing. Don't dwell on it, man. There's people out there that are still like 10 years in, and don't be that person. Don't do that. You just make it sound miserable for everybody else, and don't do that. Find the positivity in it. Okay. No matter what you're doing in life, you got to find positivity, whether it's a job you can't stand, a person you don't want to be around. You got to find positivity in something. And then, as I said, man, walk a lot during your recovery in that hospital. And when you think you walked a bunch, walk some more. When they told me if you do, I think it was 13 laps around, it's 1 mile, and I was doing like 50 laps a day. I was like, screw that. You're gonna want to walk. I'm telling you, it's a good thing for you. And listen to your nurses. All right, I know it's big and popular right now to be like doctors and nurses and scientists don't know what they're talking about, but these people do this on a daily. Maybe take their advice, treat them with kindness. I'm not saying if you got a dickhead nurse to be nice to them, but don't be a dick and they'll probably be nice to you. Most are there to do their job because they care. They're not there to get a paycheck. They're there because that's what they chose to do. Especially if you're at a cancer center, listen to your damn nurses. Like it's going to be frustrating no matter what. Like communication at first is very frustrating, especially if like somebody doesn't know you. So reading your expressions isn't as good as it would be, say, your wife or kid or whatever. So you're going to get frustrated. Just don't take it out on them. They understand. They're there to help you. You're not, in most cases, if you're in a cancer center, you're not the first, then you're not going to be the last. So main key thing is don't be a dick. Also, they're going to show you how to clean your stoma. Don't be one of those people that don't participate. Learn to do it so you can do it yourself when you get out. I couldn't picture, like, I have not yet had my wife clean my stoma, mainly because she don't need to. I'm a grown man that's still able and capable of doing it myself. But it would be so weird for me. It was weird for me for the nurse to be doing it. So I was like, after like the third time they did it, I'm like, let me try this and do it yourself. Don't get over that fear. There's always that fear in the beginning when you go to first do it. You'll get over it quickly. You're gonna spray in some stuff. It's gonna make you choke like it's supposed to anytime you get anything in there that's not air. And you're gonna cough up stuff and suck it up. That's it. It's not going to kill you. You're not going to die. You're surrounded by a medical facility that if anything goes wrong, you're good. Just do it yourself. Don't rely totally on the nurse. Okay. Another thing to expect is everything is going to be through a feeding tube. I've seen a couple different ones now. I've seen feeding tube go through the stoma, which I thought was weird. Even when I mentioned it to my surgeon, he was like, that's odd. I'm like, right. Shout out to James. And then through the nose, which is where I had one. And sometimes they'll even put one through your stomach, back to. Through the nose sucked. Oh, it's sucked. The first couple of days, it's like whatever. But after a while, man, your nose is going to constantly be running, like constantly running, especially at first. You got to figure what makes it so your nose stays dry is you're constantly breathing in and out of your nose. Even when you're breathing out of your mouth, you still have air going through and in and out of your nostrils. When you got snot, what do? You sniff it up. Well, now you can't do that The airway is cut off. You breathe through your throat. You have no access to that anymore. So what do? Well, here's one of my tips, man. That suction machine they give you, they got different ends for it. Get a clean end and use that for just your nose. Shove it up in there, suck everything right out. I did it all the time. I also couldn't swallow, because I didn't try to, but like I suggest to you, don't try. So you're gonna get drool. It works great for that too. Suck it out like it's a dentist. It's amazing. So yeah, you're gonna have a runny nose. Trust me on that one. You're gonna have some shit dripping. And like everything is through your feeding tube after that. For that whole time you're there. Like your medicine, they're gonna give you a bunch of Ensure or whatever they use, something similar. And that's everything. Water, everything is gonna be going through that feeding tube. And 90% of the feeding tubes I've seen take it's a gravity drip. So like an hour to feed you. Like was it 16 ounces or 12 ounces? I don't know, something dumb. And the feeding, I think it was like every 6 hours, so it's a long time. That's when you sit down, you get on your tablet, you do whatever you want to do, YouTube, watch some TV if it comes with the room, enjoy yourself, eat and enjoy yourself. So I had to take a slight break here because the rain decided to come in and I got a metal roof. So you wouldn't have heard anything. So we're back at it. Where'd I leave off? Okay, so some of the other things that you're going to expect after waking up. Okay, so as I said before, eating is a lot different now. You're going to rely on gravity more than you are your muscles. You don't have any muscles, and the ones you do have, you got to rework them. So in the meantime, gravity is your friend. And right after surgery, you're not going to be eating like steak and all that good stuff, man. You're going to be eating a lot of soft food. If you're lucky, you can work your way up to, like eggs, stuff like that, stuff that's soft that you're able to like wash down. You're going to drink a lot of fluid when you eat now because you're going to have to wash a lot of that down. You know what I mean? And the plus side, though, here's one good thing is like you can't choke on your food anymore. You can get it lodged in there, but you're not gonna die. Like someone to give you the Heimlich maneuver all they want. It's not gonna really work, I don't think. Maybe. I doubt it though. So you rely a lot on gravity. So a lot of your foods are gonna be like really soft, a lot of soups. I ate scrambled eggs. I ate a lot of pudding. And I ate a shit ton of ice cream, like a lot of ice cream. That was a great excuse. Do you remember as a kid? Well, I didn't have that happen, but kids would get their tonsils out, and that was the thing they bragged about was all the ice cream. You get to be that kid. So, and eventually you'll work your way up. If you have teeth, like I did not, I had these 5 teeth on the bottom. Eating was kind of a challenge for me. And it still is. There's still certain things I can't eat, like certain sandwiches I'm not taking a bite out of, that kind of thing. So it's kind of weird. And again, swallowing is just weird after this. You got to rework those muscles. Like the one thing I noticed I kept trying to do is clear my throat, that little, can't do that. I mean, if you got a tip, you can do that. But if you ain't got a tip, you can't do that. And you probably can't do it at first. So that was a little different. And they tell you about that, or they should tell you about that. The one thing they don't tell you, though, is you're going to make a lot of weird noises now. Like a lot of weird noises. Like I have weird noises coming out of my stoma all the time, and just weird, and out of my esophagus. Like it's not a burp; it's just air releasing, and it's weird. And you're gonna be gassy. Who knew? I was never a gassy guy ever. Like my girlfriend probably heard, or my wife probably heard me fart maybe 10 times in 8 years we've been together. And now I am a fucking foghorn. Everywhere I go, it's burp. It's just bad. It's bad. But I'm not going to hold it in either. So, enjoy it. Make it a game. Everybody be quiet and then let one rip. Why not? It's fun when you're in a public area. And the other thing is, you can't smell now because remember, you're not using the nostrils. That's just there. I mean, you can learn how to smell. I can actually smell by the way they teach you to do it is the polite yawn. That's where you're like holding in a yawn. I do it kind of like that, but at the same time, I flare my nostrils and it's able, I don't know how. It might be just in my head. I don't know, but it works for me. And I'm able to smell. But if you're not able to smell, you don't know if your farts smell. So whatever, it's not your problem, right? It's everybody else's problem around you. But whatever, have fun with it, I say. Especially if you're female, man. Let's get rid of that stigma that women don't fart. We know better, ladies. What's some of the other things they don't tell you? They probably should tell you. One of the things they didn't tell me, but they went over it after the surgery, was that showering is a little different now. Like you're not just running in the shower, you're gonna fucking drown. So, you got to take precaution. And at first, they gave me a bib that goes around. It's just a little like literally a little plastic bib. And I don't like that thing. I know a lot of people use them and are good with them. Mine doesn't fit right. I always get water in the stoma. Then that's one of the questions I see a lot, man. What do you do if you're in the shower and you get water in your stomach? Well, you'll do what you normally would do. You're gonna cough. You're gonna choke. At first, you're gonna freak out. You're like, "Oh God, this is how it ends." But it's all right. Calm down. Relax. Your body's gonna cough out all that water, and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to go on your day. It's equivalent to swallowing back in the day before all this, and it went down the wrong windpipe, as they would say. Same thing. You're gonna cough, and then you'll get over it and move on with your day. But the one good thing they do have from AJOS and InHealth, and I suggest you get them. They usually send you home, or you can at least get a to-go kit, and with that will come this little blue shower card. It's a very simple device. It clicks into your stoma. And you can still talk. Look at that. I didn't even think about that. So it clicks right into your base plate, and you're able to breathe through this, and water does not get in. By the way, I've never spoke like this before. It's kind of cool. That's a first. Anyway, I have never put in the shower guard and plugged in and tried talking. So that was kind of cool that I was able to do that. I don't know, personal achievement, I guess. But that becomes like your best friend for the shower. I even use it when I'm shaving, just because I'm over cautious about that part. I just don't want shaving cream in my shit. I don't want to gunk up an HME for no reason. And I know there's people that don't even use anything. They just go in there and shower at it. They got balls of steel, I tell you. I thought about doing it. I'm like, I could try that. But I'm like, nah, not worth the hassle to me. So let's name some other things they got going on. They should have told you about, and they probably never mentioned. All the goddamn equipment that is about to get showed up to your house, and most of us don't even need it. So while you're in the hospital, they're gonna have you hooked up to oxygen, keep your stoma moist, and they want you to do that at home. So they're gonna have this big machine come in with a lot of tubing to hook up, so that when you're not wearing your HME, you're supposed to be wearing this thing. Hardly anybody listens to this. I know there's a bunch of them that are like religiously onto this. I don't use mine. It sits in the bedroom. I don't need it right now. I don't need it because I'm able to keep it moist and I'm able to clear it out pretty good. So I don't use my suction machine, and I don't use that machine. But I do keep that stuff around as a precautionary thing. I don't need it now. But who's to say in the future, I might need it. So I keep it around. But as soon as Lincare showed up with like 3 huge boxes and was like, see you later. I'm like, what am I going to do with all this crap? I don't even need it. But, and then like donating it, you could, but groups that get them, they get a lot of those things, and they're just big and bulky. They're hard to store. So, and they're like a dime a dozen. So, I mean, just hang on to them, make things out of them if you need to. I've used the tubes on several things to make things. So, there's a thought on stuff. So, the other things they don't tell you about is like, okay, so you're going to go into chemo and radiation most of the time. And what they don't really tell you about chemo is like, okay, with me, I got the 3 doses of Ciplatin. Right? But what they don't tell you is radiation and chemo drains you. And you're going to be spending a lot of time in hydration. So I would go to my radiation appointment, and then my chemo was right after that. But I was going to chemo for literally just hydration. Literally, that's it. IV in me, maybe some potassium and stuff here and there. But it was every day, and sometimes 2, 3, 4 hours a day. It was insane. So yeah, I got 3 doses of chemo, but I was there every damn day. So I got to know the nurses very well. And they didn't really explain that in the beginning. They were like, oh, there's a possibility. And there's a possibility you get so dehydrated that you have to be on dialysis machines. So, I mean, and it's not like I wasn't following everything they were saying. I was eating, I was at the time on a peg tube. Then I was doing my feeds right. I was staying hydrated. I was able to swallow liquid, but that was it. And I was drinking plenty of water, Gatorade, everything I could to keep my fucking electrolytes up and all that good stuff, because that's what plants crave. Anyway, yeah, but I still ended up with IV every day. And looking back on it, I should have got I don't even remember what it's called, but it's one that's a permanent IV that they put you in, not permanent, but a temporary one they put in. They just have to hook up to that. Should have got that instead of like a new needle every visit. Because it got to the point where like my veins were I was so dehydrated they couldn't find veins. They had just one nurse on the unit that could ever find my vein. It was insane. So they don't tell you that part of it. They tell you that radiation can damage and everything, but they don't tell you that it's like, it feels like a sunburn, like kind of like it's a sunburn, but it's like inside out, you feel it all around. So, I mean, they don't really tell you about that part of it. They tell you it can cause damage and then there can be pain and swelling and burning, but they don't explain how it's just a sunburn, really. Like, and I guess that's the best way I can explain it. Like, if you think I'm wrong or different, you had a different experience, feel free to comment. Join our Facebook page and join in on some chats and stuff like that. What's some other crap they didn't tell me about that I had to learn on my own? Well, another one is mobility in your neck. Like I could turn my head and all that good stuff, but the mobility isn't as quick as it was. I get cramping in my neck a lot of times. Some people have like damage done, from the actual surgery. Because remember, they're cutting through a bunch of nerves and stuff. So a little bit of that, they don't really go into detail about that. I mean, it's not a big deal for me, but for some people, it was a huge thing. They couldn't move their neck and stuff like that. So, but I think that really boils down to how skilled your surgeon is. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor. I could see my surgeon next week for a follow-up. I'll ask him, but I'm pretty sure that kind of boils down to your surgeon. And it also boils down to how fit and everything you were beforehand. If you had no neck muscles beforehand, this might be a little challenge for you. If you're somebody that has good neck muscle and played football or something, you had to wear a helmet, you're going to have good neck muscles, All right, some of the plus side thing that I like about being a Larry. Number one is I snored horribly loud at the end of all this, because you can't breathe. You can't breathe. So I was a pretty loud snorer. No more snoring. You do not snore anymore. You can't. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you can make noises out of it when it gets clogged up a little bit with mucus or something like that. You might make some sounds, but it's not a snore. No, you're nowhere like you used to be. That's for sure. And that's a big plus for me because I probably cut my wife up at night. It was loud. It was bad. And like I said, especially at the end, because you're gasping for air and stuff like that. Like she probably had to roll over like 9 times and be like, "Are you dead?" So, which that would suck for her. But so no more of that crap. The plus side about your nose, if you can or can't smell. With me, I can smell, but I can also choose when to smell. So, of course, I get stuck with all the gross stuff at home. If there's something gross in the fridge or the trash, I'm the one that takes care of that, which I don't mind anyway. I did it before, but now I don't have to smell it. Like last week, we had a chicken carcass that we threw in the dump in the trash. And then somehow the trash guys missed our trash can. So it was like another week of that rotten. And it was just horrible, I guess. I had to clean out the bin after that. And I didn't smell anything. It was great. So that is a plus side in that way. A downside is certain things in the air can trigger, trigger a coughing fit. That kind of sucks. Like I said earlier, I recommend everybody covering up their stoma if they live in an area where it snows. Because, for some reason, that cold air hits it and it just messes me up. Now, once I'm out there for a little bit, it gets adjusted and it works out. But, stuff like dust, stuff like that in the air, if you're out west and you're dealing with the smoke, that's probably making you cough a lot. And I'm sure a lot of you watching it are from out there. I hope you stay safe. You should probably move for now, but stay safe and let me know some of the tips you guys got going on for what you do to handle that. Because I know just the dirt in the area here and what little bit of smoke we have from the fires, it triggered me a couple times this year. Going down a dirt road, that kind of sucked, but like I said, you can cover it up, man. Wear a bandana, something like that, and that's an extra help. Another thing they should have told you about is the price of all this stuff. Just the HME and your base plate. It's gonna be roughly $500 to $600 a month if you don't have insurance. Like once in a while, if you don't have insurance, that's like $500 or $600 a month. Once in a while, you can get a discount somewhere like CVS or stuff like that. Just be careful where you go for them. And if you can't, again, these support groups I mentioned earlier, man, they're really great because if you can't, like Larry Speakeasy, if you can't afford and you don't have insurance to get your supplies, if they have them, they will donate them to you. And it's me. I've had them donate to me a couple times now. When I was having an insurance problem, I couldn't get HMEs, I couldn't get base plates. So twice they had sent me stuff, and it's free of charge. They're not looking for anything. They're just trying to help out. So that's the one thing they probably don't mention enough is the price of what it's going to cost. This thing right here, man, this simple little, that is $900. I think, no, wait, this one was the $1,400 one. That's without insurance, So luckily I had insurance that would cover it. And again, insurance, man. One of these days, I'm going to spend an entire episode on insurance. I just want to make sure I have enough supplies saved up in case I get cut. Because, I'm probably not going to say anything nice. Insurance, fuck insurance. But you need insurance. And that's what pisses me off, man. And they know it. our healthcare system is so shot right now, man. Okay, back to the plus sides. So I don't know if you're anything like me and you say dumb things off the top of your head. Larry, you kind of have to think first because, especially in the beginning, because you're like, is it worth talking? Is it worth saying anything? So it makes you learn how to be a patient person in that aspect. And I kind of appreciate that. Like before I would be quick to tell you to go, pound salt in a nice way of putting it. Now I'm like, is it worth putting my hand up there? Is it worth it? Yeah. Arguing with your wife, you're like, is it worth the arguing? Is it really worth it? 90% of the time, the answer is no. You're going to be amazed how many times you just shut up and it became easy now. And it's kind of nice that way. Downside is when you want to scream at somebody, you're not going to. I mean, you could scream, but I mean, it only goes so high, right? Especially if you're used to yell. What are you going to do? I mean, I guess that works. My thing is, I can't wait to go to a comedy club, man. I swear to God, I'm sitting front row, and every time they tell a joke, that is gonna, that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be fun. So these are pretty much all your basics, right? I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of things. I'm sure there's somebody watching this going, but what about blah blah blah? Yeah. Feel free to comment, man. Feel free to join our Facebook page and join in on the fun. Maybe I'll mention you. But these are pretty much just the basic things of what you should be expecting when you're going in for your diagnosis and when you come out. Most of this stuff they should be going over with you. It kind of disappoints me that there's not a standard, not only surgery, but there's not a standard way of handling when you come out of it for recovery, what they tell you, stuff like that. Information is what you need going in and coming out of this. And I also suggest that if you do have any kind of questions for your doctor, you write them down so that way you don't forget. And again, take somebody with you when you go to these appointments. I mean, 90% of the time you probably have to anyway. You need somebody to talk for you, But seriously, take notes of what you want to ask your doctor, write it down and ask him. And there's no dumb questions about it, like they probably heard everything. So there's no stupid question. And if your doctor can't answer it, or you can't get a hold of your doctor in time to find out the information you want, that's where these support groups come in. You ask any kind of question you want, and somebody's going to have an answer for it. And again, remember, everybody is different. Everybody handles it different. Everything, right down to cleaning the stoma. Some people don't use Q-tips. Some people do use Q-tips. Some people use the saline spray. Other people don't use the saline spray. Some people cover it. Other people don't cover it. Everything is different. It's all about what and you're going to find your own way. You get what I'm saying? You're going to find your own way of doing things, your own way you like things. You're going to try probably a few different base plates before you find the one that you actually like. Like I like the Sibylla base plate, mainly because I could talk longer and better with them. They're really used for the handless, which I have. But doing the podcast, you hear me breathe a lot when I'm breathing. Man, I can't talk as long or as loud using hands free. So, and like I said, you can hear me breathing. So it's like, Darth Vader up here. And I didn't want to go with that. So I don't use it. But I like the Sibylla base though because of that. I also like the fact that it's not as wide and noticeable. I just like the Sibylla base. Other people like the ovals. Other people like the new product. It's all about what you try them out, figure out which one's best for you. And we'll do an episode of knowing your product, going over each one here in the future. But I think for now, I'm just going to do these next 2 episodes are probably going to follow up with radiation and chemo. we'll go keep them in order, and then we'll go back to being, twats. Like I said, I go Friday for my teeth being pulled. So the next podcast, I might not have any teeth, and depending on how well I sound or not, and it will depend on the podcast too. If I do one, I might wait until I get dentures, and if I do, that's a long wait. That's like 7 weeks, which I don't really want to do. But at the same time, I want to be able to be more understood. I mean, it's bad enough as it is now. I'm sure listening to me has got to be a little bit much. So let alone with like no teeth whatsoever, it's going to be a fun one. But these are the basics. This is what to look out for. And like I said, I'm sure I'm missing some stuff. And you can feel free, all you other Larrys out there, to comment on the YouTube video. You can go over and join us on Facebook, comment on there. Feel free to like and share the page, like us on YouTube, hit the notification button so you never miss anything. Order Aaron Wayne's book for the 900th time. Damn it. It's a good book. Go check out the page, The Strong Silent Type. And always go check out Piel Handcrafted. Use the promo code Lary10, get 10% off all your purchase. And until next time, folks, take care of each other and have a good one.
Everybody wake up. It's a brand new day, and this is your chance to let your soul shine. Proud to be you and me, freaks and geeks. Always remember that your soul is divine. Come on. When the road resting, when the sun sets, we bust out paint and make a big mess. Take a big breath, cause the air is fresh. Like, man, this world here sure is beautiful.